exciting and special day for me because my 12th great-grandchild arrived today. So I'll never forget this date. The first poem I would like to read for you is entitled Words, W-O-R-D-S, Words. We are poets. Please hear our confession. We share an obsession with words, words, words. Endlessly intriguing, fascinating words. We think them, read them, speak them, write them, drink them, eat them. On words we are fed. They nourish us like bread. We spend endless hours searching for a word, the right word, the perfect word, the one you've never heard. Upon reading what we've written, often we are stunned, unable to imagine from whence the words have come. Always words are with us. They share our tables, chairs, and beds. Waking us from slumber, they fill our dreaming heads. The depth of such a love affair, only poets can conceive. Words are closer than a lover, the very air we breathe. Now I have two very short poems which I'll read as one, and I write primarily with a pen on paper, which inspired this one called A Lost Poem. It's only 3 lines, and I'll go on to the second one. I spill my glass of water, my words become liquid on the page and float irretrievably away. And the second one, the poem speaks. Quickly, pick up your pen with the words I will whisper. Write them before they slip away and disappear forever. Like last night's thrilling dream, you were so certain you'd remember when you awakened this morning. Now I'm going to read you the poem that I was delighted and surprised to have been awarded the prize for. And it's called Rosary, in memory of my husband, Dr. Stanley Schumann. The days pass, rosary beads slipping through my fingers, one by one by one. Outside my window, seasons too slip by in steady sequence, one full cycle and most of another. I am nearly 2 years older than when you left. Death claimed you. You didn't want to go. Sitting in silence, I feel the smooth oval of each small coffee-colored bead. Even now, I still cannot yet complete the cycle of the sorrowful mysteries. Page stuck together here. Okay, what I tried to do with this one was to experiment using poetry at the beginning and the end and prose in the middle. It's called Another Winter's Tale, subtitled The Accident. If you really want to know, yes, I did it. It was me. I let fate take the blame. Too late now to tell the truth. He's long dead and I am old. What's past is past. No one would believe me anyhow. And then the prose part. I was a kid, only 11. Never been in any trouble. He was 12, always outshining me in school, in sports, in having friends, and bravery, especially bravery. He was the bravest boy I ever knew. Nothing scared him. He never refused a dare, no matter how dangerous. Me, I'd been born a scaredy cat, frightened of snakes, spooked by spiders, always home before dark. How I envied him. Wish so hard I could be like him. That chilly, gray February day, we two stood atop High Hill, saw the slick ice like a dark mirror. He had his new flexible flyer, and I my battered old sled. Something dark and bitter rose in my throat. I heard myself dare him. In an instant, he leaped on his sled head first, stomach down, hands gripping the steering bar. He took off down the glaze of ice. He flew fast and faster. I couldn't move, my eyes fixed on his sled. Too late to stop or steer, he smashed headlong into the massive old oak at the foot of the hill. The crash echoed in the empty air. Then, silence. I began shouting his name. No reply. He never made a single sound. At the base of the tree, a crimson stain was spreading on the icy ground. I retched and began to run toward home, slipping, sliding, falling to my knees. Believe me, I never meant to kill him, only hoped to see him scared at last. Ma was in the kitchen scrubbing up a pan. Supper simmered on the stove. I screamed, "Come quick, Ma, it's Joe. Something's happened. I think he might be dead." The sheriff came quickly, declared it an accident. Everyone believed him. Some days I almost believed him too. So I didn't contradict him. I spoke not a word. Not that day. Not ever. Till now. And this is a poem based on a true story. It's called An Orange from South Africa. A perfect orange orb, I hold it in the cup of my hands. Feel the slightly pitted skin. Inhale the tangy, sweet fragrance. Imagine discovering this treasure at my neighborhood market. An orange globe plucked from a tree half a world away. This orange has traveled more than I ever have or will. Transported by ship or plane, truck and train, until coming to rest beneath a hand-lettered sign, South African oranges. I recall a contractor, carpenter or plumber standing in my kitchen, handsome, slightly graying, an unusual accent. I asked him about it. He began to talk, recalling. His name was Pieter, born in South Africa, 10th generation of Boer landowners, plantation home, and hundreds of acres, row after row of orange trees, fruit for his country and for selling abroad. Suddenly, one sunny morning, shouting and gunshots, a mob of armed farm workers marching up the road. His neighbor, standing on the porch, killed by bullets, fell like a tree. Praying he had not been seen, Pieter crawled into some bushes, lay motionless, face pressed into the dirt. Hours passed. At last darkness fell. When all sound had ceased, save the cooing of the doves, he sped to Johannesburg, where his family was visiting. They escaped to America and never looked back. Heading home, I cannot contain my desire. Sitting on a park bench, I peel my orange, sweetened by African sunshine. The juice arouses my taste buds and dribbles down my chin. And this is the last one. This is a poem about returning to life after a devastating loss or tragedy, and it's called Return. In the bitter winter freeze you died. I was alone, bereft, and still I carry my sorrow with me, like a backpack full of stones, making movement nearly impossible. Yet, at unexpected times, I feel a kind of happiness, a life force deep within that will not be denied. Life and death coexisting, side by side, conjoined twins impossible to separate. Sitting this early morning, elbows propped on the windowsill, sipping coffee strong and hot, not thinking at all, I startle to see overnight our rose bush has burst into bloom. The blood-red petals, vibrant, sensuous, the color of passion, fire, love, the color of life. Thank you.